Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by Layla Carroll herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear. Welcome back to Improving Your Thoughts by Freeing Yourself. I'm your host, Alayla Carroll, and today's episode 3 is titled Signs You're Not Living Your Purpose and How to Realign Without Shame. Today's episode is a tender one because we've talked about so many things about peace, getting yourself together. We talked about narcissism. We talked about trauma. We even talked about something that we don't really think that is important, but yet it is. But today's episode is something that so many people feel, but rarely admit it to themselves and to others. The quiet sense of knowing you're not living your purpose or why you're here. That quiet sense that something is off. That heaviness you can't quite explain, but you know is not good. That feeling of going through the motions instead of living. So many of us do that. So many people do that. If you have even thought to yourself, this can't be it. This can't be my life. This can't be all that is to what I am here to do. This episode is for you. And before we go any further, I want to clear something up. I want to clear and be clear about something, okay? What I want to be clear about is that this is not about judgment. I don't want you to feel depressed or sad. Like, man, I'm X amount of age. I'm, 48, or I'm 49, or I'm 56, or I'm 60, and my life is gone. And I don't know why I wasted so much time. No. This is not that kind of life. This is not that kind of episode. This is not for you to be judging yourself. I'm not judging you. I am here to help you get on track, okay? This is not about guilt. This is not about forcing change either. So don't be trying to force things to change. It's not about that at all. This is about awareness with compassion. That's what I am going to be giving you in this episode. Just some awareness, okay? That's it. I want to help you to see and understand what is actually going on with you. So why do we ignore the signs? Because they're always there. Signs are everywhere. They're physically and they're spiritually. There are always signs. Most people don't ignore. They are misaligned. And that could be part of the reason. Most people don't ignore misalignment because they don't care. They ignore it because they're taught to do so. Think about it. You're growing up and you have a parent or your parents tell you what you're going to be in life or how you're supposed to be in life. So I'm going to give you a prime example. Me, when I was growing up, my goal was to do hair. I was doing hair already and I did it effortlessly because of the fact that I was really good at it. I can see her hairstyle and I know exactly what I need to do to achieve that look. Sometimes I didn't know what to do, but all I needed to do was to see one person do it one time and I caught it. I knew exactly what to do. It was easy for me. It was not easy for everyone else. So I thought that was my calling. Come to find out, it was my calling, but it was my calling during that time. And I realized that my mother, she told me, and I know I mentioned this before in other episodes, she told me, there's no money in doing hair. She discouraged me. And she was telling me, you need to find something else to do. And at this time, I'm 17 years old and I'm close to graduating. And she was like, what you gonna do with your life? All that stuff. You need to go to college. And at that time, I was not seeing college in my future. I just didn't see it. I was more like, no, I'm tired of school. I hate school. Don't want to go back to school. Once I graduate from high school, I am done. And I remember saying that to her, and she was telling me, no, if you're not going to go to college, then you need to go to the military. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to nobody's war. Oh, no, I was terrified. It's like, I'm not going to go to the war. I'm not going to be fighting in nobody's battles, not at all. And she was like, then what are you going to do with yourself? At that time, I really didn't know. And I just knew that what I wanted to do was to do hair. I was going to finish cosmetology school because I was in cosmetology and I was almost done with getting my license. I'm thinking like, what is the problem here? Why can't I just do that? Well, she went on to say, you need to either be in the medical field or you need to be in technology because that is the way of the world and that is where it's headed to. Everyone gets sick and everyone is going to need medical. And then with this technology stuff, it is expanding. Well, she was correct about that. And I did go into technology. I was working for Hewlett Packard for 11 years, building computers and servers, testing and doing all that programming. But I realized when I was working at Hewlett Packard, I had to been there going on my 8th year. And I was like, this is not it for me. This got to be more. I can't spend the rest of my life like this. Although I saw retirement in my future there because I had the small mindset. But I just felt it in my spirit. This is not it. It got to be more. So I started questioning myself. Am I in line with my life the way it's supposed to be? Or maybe not. So I started using what I was good at while I was there. I enjoy writing. So I started writing during my downtime. Whenever it was slow, I had my paper and pen out and I would write. I ended up writing my first book. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, what else can I do? Then I started writing all my thoughts and things that was going on in my mind just so I can pass the time and come to find out it wasn't just thoughts. Those were actually me aligning with my purpose. And when people would come talk to me and they're like, what are you doing? You always writing. You always write. I say, yeah, because I got so much inside of me that I need to let out. I got to get it out. And then we will have a conversation. I will talk to the people and just be conversing with them. And like I said, I started helping them. And then I realized that I'm doing my calling while I'm at work. Well, maybe, just maybe, you can do the same. So we are actually taught to be misaligned. That's what's going on. We are taught that. And we can be taught by teachers as well as coaches and parents, anyone that really don't know you the way God knows you. You will find yourself following their pattern of life if you don't go to the source, the creator who actually created you. That's where you get your answer. That's where you get your answer from. And how did I get my answer? I started reading the Bible. That was my first time actually reading the Bible on my own and not being forced by my mother or the preacher, the pastor at the church. I started reading on my own. I remember having Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, as well as the New Testament. That's all I had. I didn't have the whole Old Testament, but I read the whole thing. And the book of Proverbs started opening up my mind about what it is that I'm actually doing with myself. And then I wanted to know more. I said, okay, there got to be more to this. So I ended up buying a Bible. And I think I told you about the story of how I got my first actual Bible, which I still have it to this day. I'm going to give it to my son when he turned a particular mature age in his mind, because that boy there, I don't want him destroying the Bible because he don't care. So anyways, I realized that that's when I started learning who I was. I started learning myself and how to pray and to get answers. And God was actually showing me in my dreams. And I started seeing all these things about myself. And I saw myself as an older lady in my older age. And I'm like, well, God, you gonna have me here still doing that time? That's actually a good thing, knowing that I'm not gonna die young. And I was like getting an award for something that I've done in my lifetime. I don't know what kind of award it was, but I remember being in the crowd, seeing everyone, and then walking up to the stage to give my speech. And I was like, wow, what is it that I'm actually going to be doing that's going to be worthy of an award, you know? And at this time, I'm in my 30s, so I'm seriously not really knowing. But now, as time goes on, I can kind of see it more clearly now. I still don't know what it is that I'm going to be getting an award for, but I just could see it more clearly of what is leading to. So what you want to do is to understand that we're taught to be grateful, not honest, and to endure, not to question, to push through, not to check in. And sometimes not living your purpose keeps you safe only once in your life, when you're supposed to be using it for that reason, but you're not supposed to stay stuck there. So if you feel disconnected, then you're not alone. And there's nothing wrong with you. Just know that it's just a part of what's going on with you. Your nervous system learns how to survive. That's also could be a part of why you are misaligned, okay? So let's talk about some signs that we need to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to. So sign number 1, consistent exhaustion without fulfillment. One of the clearest signs you've not living in alignment is exhaustion. Oh, yes, exhaustion. Not the kind that comes from effort, but the kind that comes from resistance. You know how you go to work and you don't want to be there? And you work, and you're exhausted to the bone. Okay, you didn't get no fulfillment out of that when you left. And you hate that you got to go back the next day. Yeah, you're not living in your purpose. You're just working a job just to survive. It's time to make some changes, baby. Okay?
We'll be back after a quick break.
If you haven't already, check out my luxury shoe and bag collection, a Layla Cara style. Each piece is personally designed by me and handcrafted from genuine Italian leather. Whether you're dressing up or keeping it casual, these pieces were made to help you walk with confidence. Because real style starts from how you feel. Go to alaylacarolstyle.com and experience these bold, timeless, and completely all you. Check it out. You might find something you like. You sleep, but you still feel tired. Ooh, I hate that feeling. I cannot stand that feeling. Now, I get that feeling when I'm working because I don't get enough sleep. That's a different feeling too, though. If you're not getting enough sleep, ooh, that's different. But I'm talking about you literally are getting 7 to more hours of sleep, and yet you still feel tired. Now, let's just take this to another level. There's been a time when I was sleeping 12 hours and yet I would wake up exhausted. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? And that happened for about 3 months straight until I found out that I was anemic. That's different. And then, of course, I went to get some iron pills. Well, at the time, I had to go to the doctor because I fainted. I was working out and I fainted. Everything went black. Couldn't see anything. Oh, I was just really just toe up. And I went to the doctor. They told me, "Oh, you're anemic. Your iron is low," and that could be an issue. I'm not saying that it's a medical issue with you, but check out your medical history too, okay? But I'm not trying to give you a diagnostic or anything or diagnose. I'm just basically trying to get you to understand that if it's not any of those things, then this is where you are. You sleep, but you still feel tired, okay? You rest, but you don't feel restored, all right? That's because misalignment drains your spirit before it drains your body. That's what's going on. Purpose energizes you. Misalignment depletes you. So sign number 2, you feel numb or disconnected. Sometimes misalignment doesn't feel painful. It feels empty. You're focusing on something that you just really don't care. Whatever it is that you're doing, you're functioning but not feeling. Your numbness, this is what's going on with you. The numbness is not failure, okay? I need you to know that. You're just numb. It's a signal. Your inner self is asking to be heard. That's what's going on. It's saying, hear me out. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's why this is not feeling to you. You don't feel anything anymore. At first, it started with feeling, but then you ignored it for so long. Now you're numb to it. You don't feel anything. So your inner self is screaming to you and is saying, hey, I'm here. I need to be heard. Please listen to me. I'm trying to get us on in alignment with our purpose. So sign number 3, you feel like your life is not having a meaning. You live for relief, not for the meaning of life, of why you're here. If you're consistently finding yourself counting down, okay, if you constantly counting down to the weekend, man, that used to be something I did so much. Oh my goodness. Now I don't even know the day of the week half of the time anymore because I love what I do. I enjoy flying because I knew that I was bred to travel. I know that much. I was born to travel, and I enjoy being where I'm going, even though some places I'd be ready to leave. But the point is that I do lose track of time. I lose track of days as well. There's times when I didn't thought today was a Sunday and it actually was a Tuesday. I'm like, what? How did I miss the weekend? But I did. Or let's say you counting down to your vacations. Well, I take a vacation every month, so that's me. Like my aunt, she's always talking about, why are you not at work? I'm like, I am at work. I work when I'm at home too. And she's like, no, I'm talking about why you're not flying. I said, oh, I'm on vacation. She said, girl, you got more vacation than anybody in the world. I said, well, technically, I think everyone who works what I do kind of do too. But that's not normal, and I understand, So what she's saying is I take 2 weeks off a month every single month, and that's because I finally got to the seniority to where I can do that. And my best friend, my sister, she'd say, do you even get your hours? I say, yeah, I get my hours. I know how to do it. I put my hours, I stack my days to go to work. I take 2 days off every 6 days, and then after I get to that moment of where I get the amount of credits that I want, then I take 2 weeks off. And I do it like that every month. I said, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. I know how it's done, She's like, wow, man. Like, yep, that's what I do. So right now, I don't go back to work. Today is what, the 7th. I don't go back to work till the 18th. And not just that, I've been off since the 4th. I mean, hey, and then next month I'm do the same, and before you know it, the whole year's gonna be gone, and I'm gonna be a new year. Time passes fast because I don't dread going to work. Now, it has been times when I've dreaded going to work because I really wanted to be at home, or it was something that was going on that I wanted to do, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have took that day off. But other than that, I don't dread what I do. And let's say that you also always trying to find a way to escape. If you literally are doing these things, then you are not aligned with your purpose. This is information to you, so you need to take this in, okay? Purpose doesn't require constant escape. It offers meaning, even in effort. Sign number 4, you betray yourself to keep the peace. Yeah, I've done this before. I've done this a lot of times, actually. I don't do it no more, though. Nope, no, I refuse. So, this is a big one. When you're consistently silencing your own needs to avoid conflict, when your yes feels heavy, when you tell someone yes, when it feels very heavy to you to say that, because it's not what you really want to say, but you say it anyway to keep the peace. When you feel, dangerous, like something is not healthy, because if you say no and you feel like you're in danger, if you say no, something's wrong with that. It's time to start making some changes, and that is one of the reasons why you're misaligned, because you're in survival mode. You're not living in your alignment when these things are going on. Purpose does not ask you to disappear. It needs you to know that. It asks you to be seen and to be present. So if you're not able to do that, it's time to get some help. And if you're in a narcissistic relationship, you're dealing with someone who's abusive and whatever, I need you to listen to season 6 and also season 8. And it will help you, first season 6 and then go to 8. Listen to the ones about narcissism so it can help you get out of those relationships. I also have a course that you can take, and that will also help you get out of those relationships safely, for anyone who wants to get out of those relationships safe. Now, you have to pay for those courses, but I'm going to turn those courses, the one with living, what is it called? I'm trying to think of the name of it because I got so much going on. So the one that is about breaking the spell from narcissistic relationships, I am going to turn that one into a free program course, because I really truly believe that someone needs that, and it might be you who really truly need that course, and you might not be able to afford it, because when you're living with a narcissist, they normally take all your money too, and it keeps you from being able to spend your money, or they control your money and they find out where you're spending your money at, and they can find out that you're using it for this course. So I don't want you to, I had someone tell me this before, and I don't want you to feel like you can't take the course because you don't want the person to know what you're doing. So I had someone tell me that they want to get my books, they want to do these things, but they're afraid they're going to get caught and the person is going to hurt them. So I want to make it easy for you to be able to anonymously, you can sign up anonymously. You don't have to have your name, just make a fake name and make a profile that's fake when I say fake, don't put your information, your real information in there. Now you are going to need an email address, so create a new email address just for that, and then you can go ahead and sign up for that. And where do you go to sign up? You go to imagingcoaching.com/programs. Okay, it's going to be / programs. So right now it's not free, but in the next few days it will be. I'm going to make sure I do that. I'm going to try to do that tonight before I lay down and go to sleep. Anyways, if you need it, please, because I don't want you in an abusive relationship. I know I've been in an abusive relationship, and the reason why I created that program is because of the fact that I was able to get out of it. I want to help you get out of it, and get out of it safely without being in harm and danger. All right. So, how to realign without shame? Realignment does not require a dramatic move on your part. It begins with honesty. Ask yourself these questions, okay? This is how you'll be able to realign. You start asking yourself these questions like, what am I tolerating that drains me? What am I tolerating that drains me? Where am I performing instead of being? Where am I performing instead of being yourself? What feels heavy, but I keep calling it normal? That's one of the biggest things that we do. What feels heavy, but I keep calling it normal? Shame says, you should have known better. Compassion says, you learn what you needed to survive. Okay? Choose compassion. So here's some other questions I want you to reflect on. I want you to write these down, okay? I want you to reflect on them. If you can't write them down, just replay it again and think it through. Number 1, where do I feel most drained? Where do I feel most drained? Number 2, what do I avoid admitting to myself? What do I avoid admitting to myself? And I said this yesterday, the worst kind of liar is the one who lies to themselves. Because you want to definitely admit to yourself what you're in. If you're in a situation, admit that situation. That's the first step to be able to start healing and getting the help that you need. Number 3, what would feel relieving to release? What is it? It might be a person. I felt relieved when I let go of my deceased husband, my second husband. When I divorced him before he died, I felt relieved because it was the best decision I made for my life moving forward. Number 4, where have I outgrown my life? Number 4 is, where have I outgrown my life? You might be in a situation that it's time to move on from, but you continue to stay there because you're comfortable. It's time to move on. See, I was forced to leave Hewlett Packard. I was comfortable there. But when I started seeing all the changes taking place at that place, and I realized the last time that I was put in a situation where changes was taking place at Hewlett Packard, they put me in a position where I had to do all the jobs. And I mean, like, some of the jobs I was doing enough work for 6 people to have. That means that's 6 different people that could have been employed in those spots, but they had me doing all 6 of those positions. I was like, I'm not letting them do this to me again. We're going to move on. So if you have outgrown it, that's where you need to be looking for change at. Number 5, what would change if I trust myself? What would change if I trust myself? Your answers are guidance for you, not criticism. So don't criticize yourself. Just use them as a guide. It's time to guide. That's what's going to help you to move on. So let's go ahead and close this out. Okay. I want you to know that you're not failing your life. You're not failing. You're just listening to it. This is what you need to do, to just listen to it. And misalignment is not a mistake. It's an invitation to start getting aligned. That's what's going on. All right. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about how fear keeps us disconnected from purpose and how to move forward without forcing courage. Until next time, be gentle. Alignment begins with honesty. Know that you have to be honest with yourself. So until next time, I'm signing out. Alayla.
Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taken with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com.